and like then she'd bite, but she'd get the net, right? Because she wasn't like figuring out that she had to like get the grass.
Yeah.
So then she was biting it, and then she was all mad, and then she sulked, and she was like, I'm not going to eat out of that then. She like stood at the back of her paddock for about an hour, and then she was like, I'm hungry. And then she figured it out, but she was not impressed. It was quite funny. Okay. All right, so let's try that off the right.
She doesn't have anything to eat, guys.
Good preparation, Leo. Make sure your outside leg is slightly behind the inside leg. That's right. So that you're helping to keep her hip in this direction. This is a good canter. Stick with it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Look at your next pull. Same canter. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. And Cariana, did you feel she leaned a little bit into you there from pull to pull? We need to make sure she's still bending out. Leg. Good. Keep cantering. Look up, sit up, outside leg. Keep going. So we're going to see if we can get her to switch her lead over the next pull. Balanced stride, leg, leg, and outside leg. Looking for your next one. There's half of it. Leg, leg, leg. Good. So the hard thing here is we need to try to keep her belly out a little bit. Good catch. Awesome catch. Good for you. Leg on. Okay, but that was the right idea where you had her body out and then you were able to meet your next pull really straight. Okay? So can you feel a couple times there she's on the wrong lead and then she switches in front and then she switches behind. Sorry, say that again. Exactly. So what you want to do is in the moment of takeoff, which is about where we are now, right? In the moment of takeoff, you would increase your outside leg as you open your inside rein, so that this hand is showing her where she needs to go, and then the pressure of the left leg is almost like you're asking for the right lead canter, right? Because that's basically what you're doing, is asking for the right lead canter over the jump. And it's an easy spot for them to switch their leads because they've got all 4 legs up, right? So it's an easy moment for them to do that switch over. Okay. So now let's do the outside line off the right, so the white vertical to the brown cross rail. You're going to do that in 6 strides, which is just a little bit quiet. So by that I mean you need your canter to be a little bit slower. Okay, so you're going to canter in, jump in, steady, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, jump out, do your end pull, come around, jump this jump, and then finish with the end pull again. So the end pull is there to help ask for the lead if she's on the wrong one. So in the same way that you asked over here, you would do the same thing here with the end pull. If she's on the wrong lead, her energy is wanting to go this way out, right? You're trying to keep her straight, and then here, outside leg gets strong, and you show her where to go with your opening inside rein. Okay, so you're trying to shift her weight that she wants to go out. You're closing that side and you're pushing her in, so she picks up the inside lead. Okay. Now make sure there's no twists in your reins. And then you did a good job last time of setting a good trot, so see if you can set that quite quickly so that you don't have to trot for too long before you're asking her for the canter. Circle. So circle, Leo, and work that out. Circle. Close her off the outside half halt. Left leg really back. Soften your hand. Whoops. Keep at it. Now be ready for your outside leg now. Good. Looking for your next vertical. Here, push your belly out. Ribs out. Half halt. Weight two. Weight two. Weight. Good job. Look at your end pull. Turn, 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 turn. I don't know if that one counts. I guess you're between the flags there. Okay, try the end pull one more time.
Get out of the way.
Look, outside leg, outside leg. Good. Okay, and circle small, work her bend, her ribs bend. Out, out. And do that vertical one more time here, a little more organized. Look, both sides of her. Good. Outside leg. Turning, turning, turning. And ask. No. Circle around and catch the pole again. Stretch up here. Gotta ride her in balance, right? It's hard for her on the wrong lead. Sit up with leg, with leg, with leg, and outside. Good. Better. We'll try it again. So see if you can coordinate. Now praise her there. She just gave you a perfectly clean lead change, so she doesn't need to do the pull. Just trot and give her a nice pat. Good girl. And do a circle here and get organized a bit, Leo. We don't want to drop her like that. Trot, circle, bend. Tell her she's good. Yeah. Good. Yeah, good decision. Excellent. Good. Okay, let's trot and circle. Much better. Push out, belly out. Yeah, good for you. Okay, good. And walk. Wonderful. Do you feel how the bend is getting easier with her? You don't have to fight so hard to get it? Wonderful. Good girl. So I don't know, did you feel that lead change? I bet it felt pretty smooth.
Yeah, I kind of felt a difference.
Okay, yeah. Because she did it perfectly clean. So she was both legs left forward and then both legs right forward. So it was exactly at the same moment. So that was we call that a clean lead change, where she did it exactly together, right? It wasn't front and then back or back and then front. Good girlie. Okay. So in your line of, in your outside line, do you know how many strides you did there?
I thought 7.
Yeah, you did 7. So I thought that you jumped in nice and quiet. You had exactly the right canter, and then you just got a little too much half halting, okay? So you ended up shortening her too much. Okay, because we did one more, right? So your jump in was nice, your canter was good, and then when your canter is already appropriate, you don't need to change it too much in the line, right? You just need to keep doing what you're already doing. So let's give her a second to catch her breath. And then what we're going to do is the line in 6 again, to the end pole, and then right away to this little crossrail oxer. So, you know, making sure that you go over the pole and you start to look for your turn and wait to turn until you're straight here. And then bending line back to the vertical there.
The white
Yeah.
white one to the left or the...
The white one to the right.
Oh.
Yeah. So where the blue bucket is. So just come look here where this line is, because I want to make sure that you don't turn too early and end up going straight from jump to jump, okay? You need to jump this one, and then on a curve, you meet that one straight.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Line in 6, not 7. Okay, 6 is just going to be nice. And then pole, oxer, bending line to the vertical. Now, let's have a plan in place. If she lands on the correct lead, you're just going to circle. If she lands on the wrong lead after that one, let's jump the one at the end and ask for the lead change over that.
Okay.
So these end pulls and jumps are just to get her thinking about her leads a little bit more, where she has to figure it out in canter. Okay. Nice, Leo. Good canter. Keep that. Yeah, let's come around and do it again. Try not to swear when you're wrong. It's frowned upon when we're at a horse show, okay? So come again. You weren't far off. You just down the line. You need to kind of relax your arm and keep her moving a little bit. Good. Keep going. There we go. Excellent. Now end pull. Excellent. Look at your oxer. Stretch up. Legs, 2, legs, 2, legs. Good. Excellent. And circle. And get the left bend and then praise her and trot. Good stuff, Leo. Did you feel that you lost your leg position a little bit over this jump? She jumped it really nice and big, and your leg just slipped away a little bit. So you just need to make sure that your leg is closed against her when she's jumping so that it doesn't swish away. Good girlie. I'm going to try something that we haven't tried yet with Blaze. This is for her. Because she tends to jump a little bit stiff and upright, I'm going to give her a landing pull and see if that helps her start to think about what a landing pull does is it gets the horse to think about their hind end more over the jumps, right? And she's really good about knees up, but then she leaves her back stiff. So we want her to start to jump knees up, back up, butt up, right? So that she goes like that. That's called the bascule. It's like the arc of the horse's jump. Right now she doesn't have a very correct bascule. She's all really good with her front end and not so good with the rest. So this is to help her a little bit start to think about the arc in the air. Now there's a chance, and I don't think so with this horse, but there's a chance sometimes when you put a landing pole, the horses spook at the pole. So just be ready to keep your leg on if she goes, what's that? Okay? So you're going to canter in. Now remember your count still starts, it'll start now over the pole, right? So it's land, one stride, the first stride is over the pole now. So that this shouldn't change your count, but sometimes it messes with us a little bit. So So land 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're going to do your bending line, and then you're going to do this jump, bending back to that one. So after you do your first line, I'll roll that pole in, okay, so that it's not mixing her up on her bending line. And you were really good the last time here with getting the bend early in the line, and then you just need to close the turn a little bit earlier, okay, so that she doesn't go past the middle of the jump. So again, you've got your end pull and your end fence. If she's on the wrong lead, you're going to steer to those after each line, okay? And even if she's on the correct lead, you're going to steer to the end one after the first line. So you're jumping that before the turn to the oxer. Boy. Whoa. Okay, let's walk. We're going to start again. Now, how many strides, Leo, did you get down the first line? Do you know?
I don't know when I saw the cowboy pole and I forgot.
Okay. I think you got 5, but I could be wrong. I was kind of thinking about the pole and I looked up and I'm like, I think he's on 5, but I'm not positive. If you are on 5, that might be where the start of her getting too fast came. Because we've been doing 6 so far, right? So let's do 6 again there. And then with the end pull, you need to be looking at your oxer but not turning for quite a while, right? Look early but don't turn early there, because what happened is you made your turn really, really early and she sped up as you were doing it. So then she's speeding up and then you're seeing the long distance and then it's getting bigger and faster. Okay? So use your time and space that you do have to help keep her more quiet there. Okay, let's set that up again. I'll move this pole back out and you're going to keep her a little bit quieter. We'll make sure we get the 6 done. Okay, I thought your canter in was lovely, lovely. She was very straight. Okay. That's okay. Take your time. Think of pushing her hip in. Make sure your outside leg is already back and on. Good. She's waiting for it, right? So you just need to kind of slide it back and have it in place before you ask. That's better. Good, Leo. Look at your jump. Awesome. Steady and straight. Steady. Now whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Use your space. Whoa. Whoa. Now get the canter back how it was at the beginning of your course. Left bend. Good here. Leg support. Oh, this one. I thought you were making a good turn. Whoa. Look. Good. Leo, we have to work on slowing her down at this end of the ring, okay? She's really getting fast through that turn now. And the bending line was pretty good, but then you need to be rebalancing the canter so she's not picking up speed around the turn. Okay, so let's give her a little breather, little walk break. Now still we're getting the big forward one here. I thought your track was a little bit better, but you might need to just be more patient in terms of keeping a half halt, keeping yourself tall. The last thing we want is a long stretch to a wide oxer, right? And luckily that's not very wide. But if you think about oxers, you certainly don't want to be stretching her out to a long distance, right? Because that's where the horses sometimes can't make it across the width, and you either get the rail or they have a scare, right? They think, oh, I can't do this. So let's jump this bending line by itself one time so that you're starting with a nice canter circle. Your canter is nice and quiet. You're coming around. You're jumping this one very quietly. It's just a cross rail, right? It's just that wide. So you don't need to get her revved up at all there. Jump this line nice and quiet, and then we'll do the whole course again. So just keep her walking another minute. She's just still puffing. Nice ride. And you were really good, Leo, about getting her back and then softening your hand. Now just walk. Could you feel, Leo, in here how you got her back and then you were soft again? That was perfect. Now, the thing I didn't love is I still think you turned too early. Okay? So I want you to do that again. Remember, like if you're facing this jump straight, like where I am right now is straight from that jump, right? You need to have completed your corner before you're on your turn to the jump. So again, look at your jump, wait until you line up before you make your turn. Okay, so let's just do that again to work on that part of it, and then we'll add it back into the course. Because it gets even harder to have that discipline to do it when you're in the middle of your course and she's picking up speed and you've got other things to think about. So let's make it perfect now. So outside leg already in place. Try again. Try again, Leo. You need to have that outside leg already back before you think about cantering. Have it back now. Now try again. She wasn't on very good balance there, right? She was just turning towards the wall and a little bit out of balance when you asked. Make your circle a little bigger. Left leg behind your inside leg. Good for you. Keep at it, keep at it. Keep the left leg messaging her about keeping her hips in. Outside leg behind your inside leg. Good, Leo. Good, Leo. Well done. You know, it's funny because that jump is really small, but she jumps it big every time. Like she's convinced that somehow it's bigger than the other ones. Okay, nice pat for her. Leo, make your circle really, really big, okay? She gets a little crabby picking up the right lead canter. And the smaller your circle is, the harder work it is for her. So let's not make it any harder than she already thinks it is. That's better. Good for you. Now remember, the line is going to be a little bit steady. You're going to wait for 6 strides. Good job. Look at your pole. Now when she's jumping, Leo, try to push your hands into her neck so that in the air your hands are down. Hands down. Hands down. Good for you. Pull. That's okay. Now praise her because she just gave you the lead change. Good. You don't have to go to the pull. Good. Good girl. The pull is there as a reminder for you to think about your lead and for her to think about her feet and her balance, okay? So that eventually we won't need it at all, and she's already starting to connect the dots where sometimes now she's giving you the lead nicely. I thought this was really good here. The reason I reminded you about your hands down on the neck is over the ox, or did you feel you were a little bit on her mouth when she was jumping? It's hard because she jumps with her head and neck up, right? So a horse who jumps like this, it's easier to give your hand away on. But with her, you just need to kind of make sure that your hands are pushed into her neck. Okay, really good course. Okay, let's walk. We might do another one here. Let me see what time it is.
Is Megan just teaching today?
Yes. Oh, and on Saturdays, do you just...
Yeah, as long as I get my 9 spot, I'm fine.
9 to 10?
Yeah.
Okay, done, it's done.
Yeah.
So we figured it out, so Megan's just gonna start at 10.
Yeah.
So then it'll just be you and I for the first hour, and then Megan and I.
Yeah.
And then Megan only teaches till 12. So if you need to do any
if I need to.
any makeup
What
lessons?
I'm probably going to do is I'll only, if I'm doing stalls anyway, it's fine, and if it's not my weekend, then I won't book lessons.
Right. Okay.
As long as 10 is good, because if she does 5 to 9:45, that means she's warming up and we're still
Right.
9:45 to the board. Is that okay? Or?
For Megan?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, ready for this one, please?
Leo's like, put him up. It's questionable whether the poles will stay. Okay, so this is a 5 stride, nice and straight. He sure knows how to make his own fun, hey? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah? So line, bending line, other bending line, oxer going between and around, and then last line away from your dad.
When on the last course, you remember when I ended there? Do I go through the jump or jump the oxer? Go through it.
After your pull,
Yeah.
you jump the oxer a second time,
Mhm.
and then you turn around, back to the wall,
Okay.
and then the line.
Okay, I thought.
So after you jump the oxer the second time, you're steering in between these two jumps and out to the wall. Okay, Missy, one more course, then dinner. Excellent. Doing a bending line, Chase?
Whoa!
Come on, dig in, dig in, dig in. Yeah. Now your pull. Now stretch up, don't chase. Good. Shorten up your canter again, Leo. Regular stride. Good. Good job, Leo. Your circle, circle, and jump the end jump. Slow down, big circle. Look for the little crossrail there, slow down. Now I would have jumped that because she was pointed at it, right? You don't want her to think she can veer away from jumps. Now get your canter and jump that. Because she didn't finish on the correct lead, she finished in trot. Good job to keep your circle big. Good. Now circle around and jump the end fence. Keep looking, keep stretched up tall. Half halt, outside, leg, leg, leg. Good, and praise her and trot. Praise her for fixing her lead and trot. Good. Yep. Pretty good, Leo, and I thought you rode up the new line very well. You stayed on rhythm. You didn't take away too much there. She jumps the oxers like they're way bigger than they really are. So that's a little bit of greenness that we're seeing from her. As she gets more experience, she'll realize that she doesn't need to make such a big effort over the oxer. let's do...
At least you won't knock it down.
What's that?
At least you won't knock it
Yeah, we'd rather she jumps too big than not big enough, right? Let's do this bending line. We'll start here. I'm pretty happy with the line. The only thing I'm not happy about, you'll see on the video, is every time she's jumping the vertical, she's jumping off to the right. So what that means is you're getting the bend to your line, but you need to kind of close that side a little bit more. So think about your right leg finishing the job on the way to this jump, and make sure that your body, that you're facing beside the shop, right? Beside the shop, not to the right, not towards the dirt pile. Okay, so that you're closing that right side door, jumping this a little straighter. So let's do the last, we're gonna do everything except the first line. So oxer to vertical, jumping straight, like you're gonna go right past the shop. Then this bending line, the oxer, the turn, and the line in 5. You got enough juice for one more?
Yep.
Okay. So here you'll have to keep her attention, right? With the horse trailer coming in, she's gonna wanna know who's in there, and hands down. Turn, turn. Good, better, Leo. Just gonna come right beside you over that vertical. Yarko.
Out of the way, cat! You don't get.
I hope your leg is on when you're laughing up there, Leo. Now look at the oxer. Good. Good for you. Look for your turn. Now slow down. Slow down. Get the canter organized. Good. I think it must be Tommy coming back. He was at the vet. Don't kick like a cowboy, please. That's not how we do it. Whoa. So get your end fence. Sit up, keep the canter. Okay, good, and praise her. Good, Leo. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a hard time about this. Because what do you think is going to be more effective with her here when she's spooking? Leaning forward and kicking like this, or sitting up, turning your body to the left and digging your left heel in. Right? Because the thing is, you're kicking all day long like this, but you've just given most of your horse away because you leaned forward and gave her the reins, right? So you've got to, she's looking at the horse trailer like this, you've got to turn her away from that, right? Say, hey, slow down, listen, and go past, okay? It's good. I like how tough you were. It was just tough in the wrong direction, right? You need to sit up and get her past it. Are you getting picked up? Smart. Your dad? Oh boy. Beautiful, Leo. And nice canter, good. Get your left bend. And she can trot for a minute. And just do some simple big trot circles. And then she can be done. What a difference, Leo, over the oxer, huh? You had a beautiful straight ride in. You had a nice soft contact. She jumped much more conventionally over the oxer and then landed much more quietly afterwards. So that makes your job so much easier, right? And then in the line, I was just a little bit worried that she was starting to fade in her energy. She just needed just a little bit of leg in the line. Okay, but having said that, you got the job done. She just had a little rub here because she was a little bit slow, or a little bit weak. But then I love how she finished, and you got, you know, went to make your turn. She gave you the front lead, and then she gave you the back lead. So she's starting to figure that stuff out. Good. Awesome. For you in your position, we just need to keep working on getting your leg a little bit more under you, okay? Because what tends to happen sometimes is you sit with your hips a little too open and your leg a little too far forward. We call that the chair seat, right? Like someone would be sitting on a chair. So you need to just kind of increase the bend in your hips a little bit and get the leg under you. And then as the jumps get bigger, you're going to be able to stay with the motion of that. Okay, good. So just do a minute or trot or so, and then she can walk and be done. Just when they've done a lot of jumping, we don't want to then jump, and then stop, right? Not good for their muscles.